Okay, so if you're with a nonprofit, you know this feeling, right? Choosing fundraising software, it can be a total nightmare. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're diving into this incredible guide from Tech Impact that honestly makes it all make sense. It gives you a real, practical framework. So let's just jump right in.
So, why does this matter so much? Well, check out this number $450 billion. That's what Americans gave to charities back in 2019 alone. And get this, most of that came from regular people, individual donors. Fundraising, it's literally the lifeblood of your mission. And that means the tools you use to manage it, they're not just important, they're absolutely critical.
And that's the big problem, isn't it? You go to look for a tool, and the marketplace is just, it's packed. You've got a tight budget, of course, and the pressure to pick the right one is huge. It feels intense. So yeah, where do you even start?
Okay, first things first, we have to get our feet on solid ground. Before we can even think about evaluating different software, we've all got to be speaking the same language, right? So this first part is all about cracking the code and understanding the basic kinds of systems you'll run into. All right, so let's break it down. You've basically got two big buckets. In one bucket, you've got your donor management systems. Think of these as specialists. They're built from the ground up just for tracking donors and donations, super focused on fundraising staff. Then, in the other bucket, you've got CRMs. These are more like a Swiss Army knife. They're more flexible. They're built to manage relationships with pretty much everyone. Donors, volunteers, members, the whole crew. So you see the trade-off, right? It's specialization versus flexibility. Now, there's a third category that's become super important, the fundraising platform. This is kind of the next step. It takes all that data management we just talked about, from a DMS or a CRM, and it bolts on the tools you need to actually run your campaigns. And here's the key part. It lets you collect donations online. In today's world, that's not just nice to have, it's everything. Okay, I absolutely love this next part because the guide uses this perfect analogy. You're going to hear about open source systems, and the word free gets thrown around a lot, but it's tricky. They don't have a monthly subscription fee, sure, but that does not mean they're free. You need a ton of technical skill to install them, to customize them, to keep them running. It's a lot of care and feeding. So the analogy is brilliant. They're free like a puppy, not free like a beer. That really sticks with you, right? So now we're all speaking the same language, great, but how do you actually judge these different systems? How do you compare them? Well, this is where the guide gets really helpful. It simplifies everything down to a really clear toolkit built on 3 pillars. Let's dig in. What's great about this framework is that it just cuts through all the marketing hype. You just ask 3 simple questions. Pillar 1, how well does it track your money and your people? That's the core, right? Pillar 2, how does it help you talk to those people and build real relationships? And pillar 3, how does it handle all the behind-the-scenes stuff? Accounting, security, tech support. See, pretty much every feature a salesperson will throw at you fits into one of these 3 buckets. And while you're looking at all these features, please keep this quote in mind. It is so true. There's often an inverse relationship between how many features a system has and how easy it is to actually use. I mean, you can buy a system with a million bells and whistles, but if your team hates using it, guess what? They won't. The most powerful system on paper isn't always the best one for your actual, real-life organization. So what this really means is, when you're getting a demo, you have to ask really practical questions. Don't just let them show you the shiny stuff. Ask, is this screen laid out clearly? Does this workflow actually make sense for how we do things? Be honest with yourself. Getting real answers here is the difference between an amazing investment and, let's be honest, a really frustrating waste of money. Okay, so that 3-pillar framework is great. It's super helpful. But let's be real. Comparing dozens of systems, even with a framework, is a ton of work. And that's why the guide has this next part, which I think is just brilliant. It's a shortcut to help you narrow down your options way faster. And the shortcut is something called use cases. It basically flips the whole process on its head. So instead of starting with a giant checklist of software features, you start with your organization's story. What are your needs? The guide lays out 12 really common nonprofit scenarios and then says, hey, if this is you, you should probably start by looking at these systems. And here are just a few examples. As I read these, see if any of them ring a bell for you. Are you a tiny but growing organization and price is pretty much the most important thing? Or maybe your team isn't super tech savvy, so you need really great high-touch customer support. Or hey,
Maybe fundraising events are the absolute core of what you do. See what I mean? By figuring out which one of these sounds most like you, you can instantly chop your list of potential systems down to something way more manageable.
All right, so we've covered the basic types of software, we've got our 3-pillar evaluation toolkit, and we have a shortcut using use cases to find our fit. Now let's bring it all home and talk about actually making that final decision.
Okay, if you walk away with only one single thing today, please let it be this. There is no such thing as the best system. It just doesn't exist. The whole goal of this process isn't to find some mythical, perfect piece of software. It's to find the system that is the right fit for your team, with your budget, and for your specific needs. It's all about the fit.
And to help you find that fit, the guide gives you real hard data. I mean, just take a look at this little snapshot of the pricing comparison. You can see right away how wildly the costs can change, especially as you add more contacts and users. It's a huge difference. And the full guide is packed with detailed charts, just like this one, comparing features, pricing, you name it.
Look, we've given you the framework today, the big ideas, but the real goldmine, all the nitty-gritty details, is in the full guide. And the best part? It's totally free. You can find it right now at guidestechimpact.org. Seriously, if you're going through this process, make that your very next click. It's an amazing resource.
So let's end with this final thought. We've established that the perfect one-size-fits-all system is a myth, right? So the whole decision really just boils down to trade-offs. It's about what matters most to you. What's more important for your mission right now? Is it having every advanced feature imaginable? Or is it having something that's just super easy to use? Is it the absolute lowest price? Or is it knowing you have incredible support when you need it? Answering those questions for yourself, well, that's how you find the system that's truly the right fit for you.